Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Marjorie. I've been stamping cards for many years, but I recently added watercolor painting to my card making, and I enjoy it so much that I would like to show you some simple and fun ways to incorporate watercolor painting into your card making. This is not a step-by-step tutorial video. I just want to share a bunch of my card layouts with you with a brief description, and then you can use whatever paints, stamps, embellishments, etc. you have to create similar cards. To get started, you just need a fairly inexpensive watercolor paper and set of paints. I used some paper that I got on Amazon and at the local craft store, and some paints that I got at the local craft store. These are also the Master's Touch, like the paper was. A set of 24 colors, and you can mix and match. And I got another set too, also Master's Touch. And then you just need, for the cards that I'm showing you today, a flat brush. And let me just show you how I got started here. I made a little board surface for my painting out of a cardboard with clear contact paper over it, but you could also use a cutting board or a clipboard. And I attached the watercolor paper that I cut to the right size with washi tape. And the washi tape goes around it and creates a border so that when you paint, you will have a border left once you take the washi tape off. And you can see that here in the cards. That white border around it was where the washi tape was. And this stamp happened to have that black rectangle border around it. This other card, I just made a little black border with a permanent watercolor marker. And these are just single color watercolors. I used blue, obviously, and green. And then I stamped the image. And then to make the flowers white, I used my white gel pen. And I even added a little bit of sparkle there with my clear Stardust gel pen from Jelly Roll. And to get the leaves green, you can either paint them or use markers or watercolor pencils or just regular colored pencils. Lots of options. For this card, I raised the flower up by cutting it out and then adding dimensionals underneath to give it a little height. And then this card has the green ribbon, and this one has the twine. And now I will show you some of my other cards. This one here, same idea with purple watercolor, and I used the black permanent marker to make the little stitches around for a border. And I punched out this flower and popped it up with dimensionals, and then used washi tape on the card. For this cute little fish, again, the blue watercolor in the background, painted some little green seaweed, added the bubbles with the black permanent marker, and the fish itself is popped up with dimensionals. I cut it out, and that is also watercolored. I watercolored that goldish orange color and then stamped on top of it and then cut it out and added the white gel pen for the eyes. And the background for this card and this card is embossed with using embossing folders and my Big Shot by Sizzix. Okay, moving along to another card here. This one, a little bit different. The whole card front is watercolor paper, and I masked off that rectangle with washi tape, painted the blue, stamped the black birds, and then one of the birds, well, I stamped them again, and then one of them cut out and popped it up with dimensionals. And again, used the twine and glued it on a black cardstock. For this card, after I did the blue watercolor, I stamped the bicycle, colored the green grass with green watercolor paint after the blue was dry, and colored in the bicycle with colored pencils. And the basket I stamped again on a separate sheet of paper and then cut it out and popped it up with the dimensionals, if you can see that, and colored it in with watercolor pencils. Now, this one, I added two colors. It's got the blue at the top and then kind of an aqua color at the bottom. So you don't have to just do one color for your background. Obviously, you can do as many colors as you want. So we've got the blue and the aqua, then stamped in black. Here we've got more distinct layers of blue and purple with that same black stamp of daisies. And you can use as many colors as you would like. This card here, let me put it back so you can see it. Get these out of the way. And there you see all different beautiful colors in different layers on the watercolor paper. And then I stamped the daisy when it was dry and colored in with green paint after the first layer was dry. And you can speed up the drying process with the heat tool. And then I stamped the daisy again on white paper and cut it out. Otherwise, you would have seen, the pink and orange through it, but I wanted the white daisy to stand out. So stamp that separately, cut it out, and popped it up with some dimensionals again. And around the edges, you can see I used a distressing tool or a bone folder, probably a bone folder on this one, just to do some distressing along the edges there. And then added the blue border on the white cardstock. And then we have this card right here. Same basic idea, but this one does not have the washi tape border around it. I just painted the whole piece of watercolor paper green, and then when it was dry, stamped on it. And it's important to use stays-on permanent ink when you're stamping. If you don't use the permanent, then the black ink will bleed onto your painting. And Now you can see this was stamped, the flower there. But then I did the same thing that I did on some of the others. I'll show you the stamp here, where I stamped the flower again, this time on pink watercolor paper that I'd already watercolored pink. Cut it out, added a little bit of white to the center with my white gel pen, and popped it up with dimensionals, of course. And the background, I use this little stamp, but you know, there's various ways to do backgrounds. You can splatter paint on there as well, and then some washi tape there. Here's just one more card to show you, similar to the first one, just a different layout, the horizontal layout. So many different fun things you can do with watercolor, and I'm looking forward to doing another video to share some other cards that I have made. So I hope you have a great day and enjoy your card making.